Hello, how are you? Welcome to my retirement video, day 50. Now, we've got a few clouds in the sky, though you can't see them at the moment. And it feels at 4 p.m. about 200 degrees, warm up some muffins kind of degrees, those kind you buy and you just warm them in the oven real quick. Some dinner rolls or something. Oh, these people built their own porch. Love the Americana. And then these guys just did it recently too. I'll sweep over there so you can see it. And they took down their flags though. But that whole overhang thing where you see the lantern light swinging, they did all of that. All right, and then you hear, of course, we've got, who is that? I should know. Southwest Airlines? That's coming from Ontario International Airport. Well, passing two palm trees that Snoopy loves. If I say squirrel, like I did last time, he looks straight up into these trees. They've got some big palm trees out here. Well, so far today, I haven't done much, and that's partly on account of I was back online and I was trying to finish up applying for a job, and it's the first time I've looked for a job in 25 years. The whole way to do it has changed drastically, and what it reminds me of, all of the things I need to do, it reminds me of when I was in graduate school online about 15 years ago. And you really had to know your stuff. That's where I really learned some of the tech tricks. You know, how to attach stuff. I purposely was quiet crossing the street. We're not supposed to be looking at a phone crossing the street in this city. So what I do instead, I wasn't going to turn it off, but I just don't talk and I'm not looking through the viewfinder. I love this peaceful part. I used to help take care of these people's yard over here, and I'd bring my 3 doggies over, Snoopy, Rex, and Shirley, and they'd hang out in the shade and they'd play a little bit in the yard because no one was living there. And if I remember right, what had happened was the mom or the dad had passed away, and the grown son, I had met him a few times, and he didn't mind me picking fruit. And I would just kind of clean up the yard, and the dogs would sniff around and basically just make it look from the outside like someone lived there. And that was easy to do since I was walking every day. I didn't go in though. This is Palo Verde. These guys are getting big. So it's been a couple of days since I went to the fair. And it's funny because my little fair video, the retirement video that I did at the fair, has now become my most popular video, even surpassing day one. I think maybe double the amount, I'm not sure, something like that. I definitely didn't expect that. Hope it's not too windy. Let's see, I think this is a dead lizard here. Let's see. Yeah, he's dead. Oh well, I'm surprised some bird hasn't swooped down and, taken that beef jerky away. You could probably hear the ambulance. I'm off of a few streets over from a really big, I don't want to say boulevard, but it's like a boulevard. So I feel lucky because I'm protected from most of the traffic noise over here, but sometimes not so much, but I don't mind. On a day like today, when I was going through boxes and finding my old transcripts and yada yada, it was a lonely day. Being indoors took a long time, but wow, just all the memories looking back at everything. Even though a lot of it was work related, it brought a lot of memories back, just rifling through papers. I forgot the smell of paper, as in when you're around it a lot. It just shows you how much the world's changed in the last 20, 25 years. And I've kept a number of teacher papers and stuff from different conferences and whatnot, and things from the kids. All that stuff was mixed in there. Only some of it's organized, and I was trying to find, as I said, like some transcripts and proof of credential and so on. And so just seeing stuff, just so weird, seeing things from 2012, 2003, 1999, all that stuff. I am so glad I had a lot of my personnel file copied when I retired, because I did not realize how much of that stuff I had forgotten. I don't know how I was going to remember the name of the online graduate university that I went through. It had been over a dozen years, and I'd gone through it so I'd get a hike in pay, and just a lot of things. It was hard to remember, and I couldn't remember little details such as how many credits I earned or exact dates if needed. So that was a boon. Okay, there's another plane. I think that might be Alaska Airlines, I'm not sure. So now I wish I was at the fair again, at least for a few hours. That'd be nice. But that first weekend, it's just very chaotic, and especially after 5 o'clock, it got really like loud, and tons and tons and tons and tons of young people. And I was considering going on the big Ferris wheel, but just all their like really loud dance music around and everything, and having already seen Amanda Fagan perform and having had some good snacks, and we had basically seen everything, and I kind of figured that Rich was ready to go. And so when he said it, I was good to go too. See, this is not accident the way this yard looks. Now, a lot of yards in California have low water maintenance plants, and this guy probably has stuff that's all indigenous to California, though I could be wrong on that. But people do this because then you're not spending a lot of money on water, because water's expensive in California. And even if it's not expensive, you have to use a lot to maintain lawns, unless you want to go the artificial route. But there are a few cities in California that have now banned artificial yards. So, well, that house over there, they always leave it pretty wild. The no trespassing one. And these guys are from Jamaica. And in Jamaica, I think it's a lot like Bermuda. You can only paint your house a certain number of colors. In Bermuda, you have like 6 or 7 choices, and your roof has to be white. I don't know why white. When we left the fair, I didn't realize the Costa Mesa Newport Freeway would take us right above the area where I used to take my dog Arabia 11 years ago to have her sometimes once a week appointments to have her chemotherapy, because you can actually treat dogs for cancer. She had lymphoma, a type of lymphoma. They give them a low dose so they're not overly sick, and it helps them live longer. Her symptoms did go into remission, and she got, I think it's 10 months, 11 extra months. Definitely worth it. Well, anyway, Snoopy and Arabia and I used to drive down there, and I used to call it my doses of hope, because I wanted her around so badly. I wanted her to be alive. And she'd go in there and we'd talk to the vet, and she'd get dropped off, and Snoopy and I would take a nice long walk, a big square around the, it's like industrial complex, but parts of it had really nice grass and big shady trees. So we'd walk about a mile square, and then a little later we'd go back in and we'd pick up Arabia. And sometimes she would need to stay longer, and if I remember right, I think she might have stayed, I know she stayed overnight at least once because I couldn't come back down. But sometimes we just went there for visits, for checkups and whatnot. Snoopy loved going there. Well, going past it with Rich, back on the freeway heading north, wow, it really brought back memories of all that. But they were good memories. Some sadness too, yes. Well, I'll say complex feelings, but just memory lane. From the freeway, you know, you're about 100 feet above the area you're looking down in. The good thing is Rich was driving, so I could look and look and look. I couldn't find the exact place where she used to go 10, 11 years ago, but it was just enjoyable looking down in that area, and it brought so much of it back, almost as if we drove over there, she would still be there. And so with that vet, and it would be time for me to pick her up. Well, Snoopy's still around. He's doing quite well. I'm gonna cross the street. You may be able to see the San Gabriel Mountains in the background. So here we are at day 50 of retirement. Well, what does that mean to me? Well, it means to me that all the teachers that I used to work with, they're gearing up to go back pretty soon. Thinking, let's see, if today is July 23rd, 2 weeks. They'll go back for a few training days and set up, and then they'll be back. I'm feeling left behind, but it doesn't mean I'm left behind in the work world. So I have been applying for some jobs, public and charter. Charter is public in California, but it's a different kind of schooling. And if nothing comes of that, I'll start applying for just some regular jobs, some part-time work at just places like, who knows where I'll apply. Stuff outside of teaching, like Home Depot or Lowe's, or even Kohl's, clothing and whatnot. Home Depot and Lowe's, if you don't have them, They're where you pick up stuff for your home. They have a lot of building materials too. Well, I think I'm going to be ending this right now. And it's been good talking to you. And I'll end with Snoopy's double palm trees, where the squirrel hangs out with the San Gabriel Mountains in the background. Take care. Signing off. Retirement Day 50.